so far, and we have a lot more to come. So today, this morning, you have a cat pose for stretching, and the cat pose, what it does, it stretches your neck and back. It relaxes our spine and is super just good to relieve that stress in our back. So go ahead and try the cat pose, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. What we have for activities today is that you have the video Fantasia, Rhapsody in Blue, and today's project is called Artist in the Making, and I hope you guys will actually have lots of fun with that. Today's story is going to be Zin Zin Zin, a violin. So we'll have a story time later today after you get to complete your project. So today's instrument of the day, we have a huge instrument. It's the biggest of the string family. It is called a double bass, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that since I couldn't fit my double bass on the table today. So our biggest instrument in the string family is a double bass. It is absolutely huge. It's bigger than I am. So I would say that the bass is about, full-size bass is about 6 feet tall. It's huge. It looks otherwise like a violin, violoncello. It has the scroll. We have pegs that tune the instrument, but the pegs look slightly different. We have our neck, fingerboard, a huge bridge. We don't have fine tuners. We have a tailpiece, and then we have the F-holes. The F-holes are huge, which means this is an even louder instrument than the cello. So the string names for the bass is E, A, D, G. They're backwards like a violin. A violin is G, D, A, E, and backwards is how the bass is set, and that is E, A, D, A. So the bass is a pretty fun instrument. It's mostly played plucked, and we have two different bows for the bass, which I'll show you in a second. We have French and we have German, but it's played standing up because it's such a huge instrument. You won't be able to play it if you're sitting down. But this is the final instrument of our string family, and it is the double bass. We have two bows for a double bass. They're smaller than a full-size violin or cello, and they're bigger, if you can see. They're also heavier. We have French and we have German bows. So we have different kind of bows for the bass. The bass, like I said, is mostly plucked, but when it is bowed, people often use one of these two for that. So we're going to talk about dynamics and all those symbols in your music and what it means and how to recognize those. And you'll have this in your flashcards as well if you want to learn with me. So we're going to learn about PP first. That's called piano pianissimo. It's very soft. It's like you are whispering. Next we have piano, and that is P, which is soft, and that's kind of like talking kind of a little quietly, not necessarily whispering. We have MP next, which is mezzo piano. That's moderately soft, and that's kind of like normal talking, your normal talking voice. We have F next, which is forte, and that is loud. We also have MF, which is mezzo forte, which is moderately loud. We have after that FF, which is forte fortissimo. This is like you are yelling at the top of your lungs. A cool thing that you can do throughout the day is identify the level of sounds. If someone is talking normally, you can be like piano. If someone is whispering, you can go like piano pianissimo. If someone's excited and talking louder, you can say forte. So throughout the day, try to figure out the levels of sound that you hear. And this is the symbols that you're going to see in your music. Dynamics help us make the, the P's sound more interesting. Think of it as when you're coloring, you're looking at just the blank color sheet, it's just black and white. Dynamics is adding the colors in there and all the pencils, so coloring pencils. So dynamics is what we color our pieces with. Our composer of the day is George Gershwin. George Gershwin was born in New York in 1898. He was an American composer, and his family came to the United States. They immigrated. His two brothers and sister had a close, happy family life. George liked playing games on the streets of New York. He liked exploring the city, but did not like school or studying. I did not like school either. I like to be outside, so I very much can relate to George. While exploring the city, Gershwin heard jazz and blues spilling out of the restaurants. However, he did not become seriously interested in music until he heard another boy playing the violin in a concert at his school. That made Gershwin then begin to take piano lessons. His teacher quickly recognized Gershwin's unusual ability. Gershwin studied classical piano, but his strongest interest continued to be jazz and popular music. If you're wondering what jazz is, kind of music that is, it is a type of music that musicians improvise. Improvise means you are making it up as you go. So jazz is known as America's classical music. They use popular instruments that play jazz music like saxophone, trumpet, piano, double bass, which we learned about today. They typically always are going to be plucking the string. Double bass and drums, those are very popular jazz instruments. So when Gershwin was 15 years old, he left school and went to work in the music business. He succeeded in getting one of his songs published at only 18 years old. He became very successful song after song. He was never upset about losing music because he said there would always be more that came from. The more famous he became, his brother Ira began to write words to Gershwin's songs. Gershwin died while having brain surgery to remove his brain tumor. Everyone was incredibly sad to hear about Gershwin's death at only 38 years old. Gershwin is still considered one of America's greatest composers. Again, today's piece that you're going to see by Fantasia is Rhapsody in Blue, and George Gershwin wrote Rhapsody in Blue. So I really hope you enjoy that. It's one of my favorite videos. And for today's Artist in the Making, you can use any piece you'd like from the playlist. Rhapsody in Blue is also a great one to use as well. But don't forget about today's game, project Artist in the Making, and that story time that we'll have later on today. I hope to see you guys tomorrow.